you doing? Yeah! Yeah! You about to get plugged, dude. You about to get plugged.
Chip,
in the
We're
butt.
about to get plugged.
every single time Chip makes me laugh. And I have to point it out every single time. I'm like, this smug mother.
How you doing?
Well, we have recurring topics, recurring segments in this show, so
Yeah, and I mean, already just talking backstage, I'm already depressed. I'm ready to cry.
Yeah, I don't know. Something
why? Let's try to keep it light this time. At least try.
Attack!
Let's start by talking about
With luck. Ooh. That's my foul core. Ooh. Ooh.
let's talk about Ezra Miller attacking someone else again.
Yo,
That's not laughing matter. Sorry, but
You thought
Come
about
on.
not learning a lesson.
yeah, this guy is he's crazy.
I think so.
He was like, "Yo, I call that slap and I raise you a punch."
I raise you a chair throne and hit somebody. I think not long after they announced that they're killing that movie. You think they would kill the movie?
Nah, you can't kill the movie.
No, are they gonna kill the movie? No, I don't think so. I mean, I think they're gonna release it, but kill the character.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
right
you
after-
can't. I don't even think they have to do like any edits or anything like that. Like at that, just replace him. Like it's still the Flash. It's still Barry Allen. Just replace the actor. It's happened so many times in movies. It's like whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Most notably when they replaced this guy, Kevin Spacey, right? Mid movie.
Yeah, I forgot what movie that was. When they the old is it Christopher Plummer?
I think it was. Yeah,
That
but
he did all his scenes.
definitely not something as high profile as this, though.
I mean, I don't think they're gonna pull a Chris D'Elia where he got replaced by Tig Notaro in that zombie movie, because that would be kind of ridiculous and expensive.
Yeah, it would. But look at like Terrence Howard. So Terrence Howard, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, it was just like, yo, I'm here, deal with it, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
you can do something like that. Like you don't have to. That was funny with the Chris D'Elia thing, like seeing the behind the scenes when they filmed that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, what the hell?
All right, let's say hello to the chat before we
Oh, I forgot we're live. I thought we were just kicking it.
No, we're not. We're not.
And I have a bone to pick with you guys, by the way.
Oh, come on.
Us guys?
Yeah.
Track.
Hi, Drac.
He's here for the double dose of daddy.
Oh,
Adrian, triple dose of daddy.
Oh, speaking of triple dose.
David, Remy Q.
And he even worked again. DJ again. Yep.
Remy and I are working on our own show called Two Nerd Zaddies.
Oh, Zaddy.
Yeah, with a Z. Two
Nerd
Nerd Zaddies.
It's very derivative.
Mark.
Very derivative. All right, so what's your bone to pick, sir?
What's derivative mean?
This is a show where 3-syllable words are thrown around.
Yeah, I know. I just have like a 2-syllable word max. I read at like what do you call that shit? On the reading scale, the readability on the Fleisch reading scale, I read at a 3.
Out of 3? What's the scale?
The scale from like 1 to 25.
Fleisch reading.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What's all this bullshit? Come on.
This is actually a thing. So I'm going back. I was looking for today's video so I can link it in a few chats so people could come out and support. And then I see one of the thumbnails where Daddy Cole was on. He had his own caricature. This is my second appearance, and there's no even mention of me.
Come on, guess who's back?
Back again.
There you go. Now, you wanna do a Biggie one? You wanna go Biggie style? I drop a. Oh no, my finger chopped off. Let me clear that because let me clear that out because I did the branding for the Burrito channel, the comic Burrito. So I did their character, Nick, Todd, and Cole. So I had that up my sleeve. So I used it. But I said, don't expect me to do a character for everyone that comes. As a matter of fact, I didn't even use Tyler's, which I could have used Steamboat Tootsies for him also, but it didn't come to mind.
But I only speak English and some Spanish. I don't speak excuse. So the words that you're telling me right now, I'm going to take them as disrespect.
Oh, come on, DJ.
I'm just clap, bang, bang.
I'm going to tell you right now that he's about his paper. So you want something done?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm just same.
We're
all about those Benjamins.
It's like, hey, could you make me an intro? Could you make me a logo? Be like, yeah, sure. So I'll send it to you. It's like a couple of seconds and it just cuts off. It's like, yo, where's the rest?
Here comes the invoice.
It's not properly rendered. It's watermarked.
All right. So, yeah. Well, he had a bone to pick more with you than me because I don't handle that stuff. I don't even promote. You promoted more than I did.
I know it's crazy because you're left-handed and you can't hold the pencil. So
I'm not left-handed, sir. I'm right-handed. Thank you very much. Let's talk about movies.
You're left-handed, but you identify as right ever since your accident.
No. Let's talk about cheese in your eyes, motherfucker. Yeah, that's an inside thing, but I want to clarify.
Okay, so
cheese in your eyes.
And Linx is laughing, but I don't think he knows what's going on. But
yeah, I have no idea. But
Linx, Ignacio and I are very kindred spirits in the fact that we're emotional and we have things that trigger us.
Fuck, yo, BRB. I think that's UPS. Sorry.
You talk about kindred spirits.
Yeah, we'll just leave him big. We'll talk in the background. So Ignacio and I are kindred spirits, right? Well, let's see what he's looking. We even have a little bit of inception going on because we see his screen in the background also.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's not dox him.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kindred spirits in the fact that we get triggered pretty easily and start to cry.
Yeah, we're in the business of making people cry. Last week we made DJ cry, and we are in the business of making each other cry, basically.
No, I said Linx. It takes a lot for him because he's good at deflecting it.
I'm on the live.
Hey DJ, how are you, man?
Yo, what is going on?
See, I thought it only happens to me, but I'm off today. So Ignacio and I also share a love of certain podcasts, certain comedians. So I sent him a podcast for Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. They do a podcast called Two Bears, One Cave. So, I mean, take from that what you will, but there was one particular part. I guess, should I play it? Will I get in trouble if I play it?
No,
do you have it clipped?
See what happens.
I don't have a clip, but I pretty much.
Remy shows dick on his channel. You can play the clip.
Yeah, that's right, man. It's all fair use because we're adding to the content by adding our experiences and our reaction. It's a reaction video, motherfucker.
It's gonna be tough too because the 2 times I've watched it, I've cried both times.
Why would you play it then? You made me cry. You want to make DJ cry now again? He expressly said to us, "Don't make me cry again."
No, so what happens is I have my peoples watching, and I told them, whenever you see that it's getting emotional, call me, ring the bell.
See? He's going to leave us.
Somebody's going to drop the skylight on a rope.
We need to caress it. So let's keep it an anecdote. Let's not play the video so no one cries. I don't want to cry again. Do you want to cry again?
Now I want to. You hyped it up. Now I want to see it.
All right, yeah, I got it kind of queued up, so I'll share it. So
it is your channel.
Excellent.
All right, so for those who don't know, this is Bert Kreischer. He's best friends with Tom Segura, another comedian. So let's see if I got it here. And what they're talking about is they're talking about doing deeds and
giving gifts.
Giving gifts, which for me is a very important thing too. Like for me and my family, I'm the gift giver, and for me, it has to be thoughtful and has to go the extra mile. It makes me happy to give a gift like that. So let's see. I hit play.
So totally wrong. He comes up and he starts crying, and I said, "What? Why? You seem emotional." And he said, "Yeah, I am. Thank you." And I said, "Well, where are you gonna spend this money?" He goes, "Next week is my daughter's 13th birthday." I think Georgia was 13 at the time. And I said, "Oh, congratulations." He goes, "I didn't have money to throw her a party. Now I get to be the dad she thinks I am."
And Segura just lost his father.
Yeah.
Now these are two guys who are always making people laugh, and to see them break down like this was extremely emotional.
You're so fortunate in life. Sometimes you forget your path, and then you see someone on your path at an earlier stage in your path, and they remind you of your path, and you're like, "Motherfucker!" How many times I didn't get to be the dad that they thought I was?
But they are comedians, so here comes Tom Segura to the rescue.
I look up to you and that guy.
No, it gets deeper.
And I did it every time. I remember when Black Dude came up, we were in Orlando.
All right. But that hit particularly hard for me because I've been fortunate enough to be home working to watch my son grow up. So that's a big deal for me. And there was one time that I wasn't able to be around for my son. I missed a soccer game because of work. And even now, it still gnaws at me. So to see this in particular and know how much my son means to me, to see how much these guys broke down and felt bad, I was like, Jesus Christ. So I had to share that with Ignacio.
Yeah, he had to make me cry. But it ends up in high note with a show with cheese in Tom Segura's eyes. A joke that his own son Ellis, that is 6 years old, told him.
Now I can
So
because that was pretty funny. And then we'll just leave it alone. We'll leave it at that. I'll cue it up and we'll see.
And Ellis is like playing with something and he puts it down. And then someone goes, "Oh my God, look at the fucking cheese in your."
There you go.
Oh man, this is lighthearted, fun content.
Blue eyes. He goes, "You guys."
I tried, DJ. I tried.
And right after this, we can start talking about death and then really start to cry.
I'm not gonna talk about death today.
Yo, Remy Q, what's up, dogs?
Ellis is like playing with something. He puts it down. He goes, "What?" I go, "Julian and I have the best eyes. We have blue eyes." He goes, "You have diarrhea in your eyes." And I go, "No." I go, "Julian and I have eyes that are like the sky. They're sky blue." And I see Ellis so mad that he has this toy in his hand. He throws it on the ground. He goes, "You know what? You have fucking cheese in your eyes." And I fall over laughing. I'm like, what? What? He goes, yeah. You got fucking cheese in your eyes. And I go, I laugh so hard that he sees how hard he's making me laugh, and he sits up like this. And Christina, she goes like, "What is going on?" I go, "I don't know." I go, "I think he really has the gene." Yeah. So like he feels threatened. He's like, and then because it made him laugh, I go, "All right." I go, "You win. You win. It's over. There's no more back and forth. You win." And he goes, "Yeah." And then she starts to back up, and he goes, "Fucking cheese." He's 6.
Wow.
He's 6 years old.
So since they're professional comedians, they can do that. Jump from a really fucking hard sub story into a comedy bit. about one of their sons. But we are not. So if we start crying, we maybe cannot stop. So let's try to avoid it or leave it for the end of the show.
No, we're past
So
it,
let's
man.
talk some.
You and I are the criers. It's this guy who'll crack the joke and then diffuse the tension and just move on.
Yeah, it's
I mean, he
perfect combination.
he asked not to be pushed to the verge of tears again.
That is true. That is true.
We
But Nick,
have
I
to-
hear you're going to cosplay as Tom Segura at PlanetCon this weekend.
Yes.
All you need is a shirt.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not that much different, right? I have
Yeah.
green eyes though. I
I was just like, yo, shit, Nick has a podcast? I thought you were just self-promoting.
and he does live in Texas.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he
So
moved
you're
to
from Texas.
Austin from California.
So you claim Texas is what I'm hearing.
I said live. He says lives.
Oh, I thought you said he's from Texas.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Now that I hear you talk about this and what a big part of your identity is being a New Yorker, I wanted to make that note because there's some crazy stuff we claim, to celebrate as identity, as a holiday, like yesterday. Yes, yesterday. One of the stupidest holidays I can think of. 420.
420.
Really, John? What is that, man?
Now, is 420 going to be a thing anymore? Being that weed is, I think over here, did they decriminalize it on a federal level in the States? So it's legal in New York now. Like you walk around. So
you walk around like what?
Like yo, edibles. I got the edibles. Yo, trees.
It's legal in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Not yet, but it's legal in Oklahoma, an hour away.
Well, how come it's not legal in Texas?
It's all inevitability. It's all Thanos right now because there's so much money being made that it's just, it's just all legislation now. So
yeah, that's all it is. And then I can't continue this conversation. I don't want to get canceled by the great state of Texas.
Yeah, well, for me, it's never.
The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
No, and I'll tell you honestly, that shit happens. That shit. I've been in restaurants where that just randomly some guy has yelled that out, and people have got up and clapped. So,
oh god.
And I've been over here in New York. I'll be like, the stars at night. They'll be like, yo, shut the fuck up.
Basically,
yo, that's what happens. Like, you ever saw a clip of like a homeless dude try to kill himself on the subway tracks or something, and the train is like stopped, and the guy's in the tracks, and like people on the train be like, "Yo, get the fuck out the tracks! I'm late for work."
We don't fucking care that you want to die.
No, that's what it's like. Yo, kill yourself on somebody else's time. Yo, I'm late for work. Yep. Hilarious. Anyway, Texas.
So that's identity,
But I mean, let's be honest. It's always available. It's always available when you want it. You know what I mean? It's been illegal most of my life, and it's never stopped any of my friends from smoking. For me, I've never partaken. It just wasn't my thing.
Same.
But it's never been a shortage of it. It's just never been openly smoked in the street. And even then, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, the same.
So. But,
yo,
Biggie, what's up?
Biggie Shaq, the immortal one.
Yeah. So that was the cheese in your eyes, fucking cheese in your eyes, and
that was the cheese in your eye. Queso en sus oídos or whatever.
En sus ojos.
Ojos. Oh, my bad.
Ojitos.
Ojitos. Okay, so that's my segue into identity, and then that segue into the movie we were going. At least I wanted to talk about, because knowing that DJ is a fan of Dark City, another Alex Proyas movie that we're going to discuss today. First was The Crow, and now Dark City. And it's a movie that in its core has questions of identity and how there are things that apparently, according to this movie, would not change despite of whatever comes in your life. So in this movie, if you haven't seen it, it's one of the greatest movies of the 90s.
Better than
the 2000s.
Better than Lawnmower.
The what?
Better than Lawnmower Man?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God, Lawnmower Man. I remember my brother, before we get into the Dark City, I went to the theater. It was my younger brother, the theater, and my younger brother's godfather. And then it was like that. So what do you want to see? And my brother and I were like, Lawnmower Man. And then he's like, we're not seeing that shit. Let's go to see The Fugitive. So I think The Fugitive was out at the same time.
It's a good movie too.
Damn, I wish I knew I wish I did the homework and watched Dark City yesterday instead of watching Zack Snyder's Justice League for the 8th time.
No, I didn't watch it either. I mean, I have the memory of watching it like, I don't know, 15 years ago last time.
Oh, that was the last time? 15 years ago? That's one of those things. Dark City for me is like once a year. Like I'll forget that my wife watching. I'll be like, yo, let's watch this. Like you're going to like it. Trust me. And she hates it every time we watch it. I loved it. I think it's, yeah. I thought for me, I love dark, dreary, sad cinematography in movies. That's why, Seven is one of my favorite movies. I love Silence of the Lambs. I really like the Batman that just passed. Dark City. I think Dark City was a victim to the Matrix hype machine. So it's basically like the Matrix's little brother. If the Matrix was
like Equilibrium.
Dark City would be a bigger movie than what it is.
Equilibrium was another good one.
Boom, Equilibrium with the gun kata, clack, 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 clack. Equilibrium was amazing.
Right. Yeah.
With Christian
But
Bale.
yeah, they were all basically opaqued by the Matrix.
Yeah, shout out to pegging.
Did that come up the last time too?
Pegging? I think somebody said
yeah,
something.
Of course, always comes up. I told Nosh that he could peg me whatever he wanted.
Oh yeah, he said, don't peg me racist, but just peg me. Like, oh, snap.
Jesus, Matty and Jules.
So I have only seen the original version of the movie, the theatrical release. But recently I found out that there's the director's cut in which the big reveal of the movie is kept under wraps until the proper time, unlike in the theatrical release that it's told on voiceover in the intro of the movie, basically.
Oh, wow.
Because in the version I saw always is the version in which the movie starts with a traveling camera through the city, and there's Kiefer Sutherland's character talking about the people that runs the city, and he tells you, this is what's happening. Mm-hmm. But it's just a comment, and then the movie starts, and then luckily
right?
No, the doctor.
No, I know. But
no, yes.
Rufus Sewell in the bathtub, and he's like, "How did I get here?"
Yes.
Then
and the movie deals. Well, maybe you have it more fresh since you see it once a year. Would you care to make us a plot synopsis for anyone that hasn't seen it in the chat?
Yeah. If you see my videos, you know how bad I am with plot synopsises. So Dark City is about a city that's dark.
That's pretty much it. There you go. Thanks, DJ.
And then boom, yeah. Then it's about a city that's dark, and they got to maneuver through the city, and stuff happens, and it's dark.
So basically, the story begins as a murder mystery. The guy doesn't understand why he's where he is. He doesn't understand who he is, where he is, but apparently he just murdered someone.
Oh, you gotta be kidding.
You're a popular guy.
I'll give the official synopsis if you want me to.
Oh, yeah, please.
John Murdoch awakens alone in a strange hotel to find that he has lost his memory and is wanted for a series of brutal and bizarre murders. While trying to piece together his past, he stumbles upon a fiendish underworld controlled by a group of beings known as the Strangers, who possess the ability to put people to sleep and alter the city and its inhabitants. Now Murdoch must find a way to stop them before they can take control of his mind and destroy him.
You should have led with "In a World."
In a world.
I didn't want
So these strangers basically try to understand the human experience to keep on living through humanity, maybe possessing our bodies. But they experiment with the identities and they change the memories of the people with which they experiment to see if they remain the same person despite having different memories. So it's a pretty crazy movie, and it deals with a lot of deep, dark topics.
Yeah. No, it's funny when Nick was reading the synopsis and the whole thing with the strangers and stuff, it kind of like jogged my memory a little bit. They were like aliens in a sense, right? They
are aliens.
Yeah.
The city is not on Earth.
Oh.
The city, there's a scene in which you see the edge of a city because he's searching for the beach.
Pebble Beach,
the pier on the beach, and he gets there, and it's not there. It's not real. It's a wall, and he goes through the wall. He opens a door. I don't remember exactly, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing, and he's basically in space floating.
Yeah. So that was the big reveal. That was the big twist.
The big twist is that at the beginning of the movie, it's a murder mystery. Oh, what the fuck! I killed someone. I don't remember who I am. I remember a woman, blah blah blah. And then it becomes from a murder mystery into a sci-fi thriller of aliens changing the world and experimenting with mankind. And they made him believe he's a murderer to see how he reacted and how he behaved with the idea and the memories of being a murderer, but not really being one. Because basically the aliens, what they want to do is, apparently their planet is destroyed or depleted of resources. So they need a host because they don't look like the bald dudes. There's something inside them, like a parasite.
Yes.
like a parasite made of ectoplasm or light, and they have psionic powers. And apparently they have psionic powers, but in some way, shape, or form, or either they woke those psionic powers on humanity, or at least in this character, the protagonist, or he already had them and humanity has psionic potential too. I don't know. I don't really remember.
Yeah, like through the experimentation and the constant rejiggering of their memories, it like awoke Murdoch's psionic powers, probably.
There you go. Yeah, I think so.
So it's about the humanity's untapped potential.
And the identity, because he remains who he is, despite them, the strangers, trying to make him believe that he's a murderer and make him forget about his loved, his wife is?
I believe so, yeah.
Jennifer Connelly, the beautiful Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think it's about so he's not susceptible to their manipulation because he has that untapped potential lying dormant within himself.
So he's
exactly.
The rest of us is just like, the rest of humanity within the movie, they're just like happy just to be there, ants just moving around in the colony.
Why do you think the movies in the 90s were all about messing with our heads? Movies like that, movies a year later like The Matrix,
or Strange Times. You remember that one with Ralph Fiennes and this girl? What's her name? The girl from Natural Born Killers.
Julia Lewis.
Juliette Lewis. They use a device on their head, and they experience with mini discs in a machine. They basically it's a virtual reality thing, but you're experiencing the feelings and the emotions of another person's experiences that person using the same device recorded. And there's someone recording murders. And there's a black market of snuff films in virtual reality. It's a pretty fucked up movie.
Strange Times. For some reason, Existence is coming to me.
Oh God!
It's like
That's
with
the
the
one.
Game Council or something like that.
Existence is a time traveling one, or am I right? No.
No, because the way you just described Strange Times, that's what as Existence. For some reason, that's what the movie I thought about. But another one of those scientific movies back in the day, Gattaca, with
yes,
this guy,
Jude Law, Uma Thurman, and Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, yeah, Gattaca.
Ethan Hawke has some cool movies.
Yeah,
and he's got a really shitty TV show on right now too.
Terrible TV show. Terrible TV show.
Ignacio, we have a request from the one and only.
Oh yes. Oh, it's Pizzeria. It's with an E. It's Pizzeria. Did I get that right? Pizzeria.
Pizzeria.
We're filling grammatical holes for you also.
Yo, let's
hey,
get
but
pizza from the Pizzeria.
This one too in the early 90s kind of struck us as a big one, especially I guess growing up in New York.
Yeah, I remember that movie. It was just like,
this is
Telly.
Shh. This was crazy.
Yeah, that was one of those
at the time.
Yeah,
it was a bleak movie.
That guy wound up killing himself too. Forget his name.
In real life?
Telly?
Was it Tully? The guy who played Casper in Friday?
I don't know. I know it was Casper, Telly.
But just to keep it light, remember Monster Squad?
You know what's funny? I've actually never seen Monster Squad. Every time we went to watch it or something like in my godparents' house, like we would put it on and then it'd be like, all right, it's time to go. And it's like, yeah, but come on. So I've seen the beginning of Monster Squad a gazillion times, but literally just the beginning. So I need to watch
I think it still holds up, but I'm biased because I saw it when I was a kid and I love that movie. It has one of the best werewolf transformations in ever.
Yeah. It was the guy who played Casper.
Spoiler alert. Now I don't have to see it because I know there's a werewolf transformation. Thanks, Ignacio.
Dude, it's called Monster Squad. What do you think it's going to be about? Monster dicks?
Oh, no. I thought it was going to be about a squad of like police officers who are like monsters.
Well, that would be nice too.
But metaphorical monsters, not literal monsters.
No, that would be better if there were actual monsters. There's a comic called Nocturnal Commissions by, who's it by? I know the artist is Greg Hinkle, and it's about, it's a failed pitch for a Morbius comic that they turn into their own IP, and it's a vampire, a werewolf, and a zombie basically have a detective agency. It's kind of cool. The art is amazing.
You mean there's been a successful Morbius pitch?
No. I'm talking about comics, and I think I've never read a Morbius comic, so I wouldn't know.
I think
Morbius. Is there a movie that you watched like back in the day that you loved, and then you try to watch it now, a movie or a TV show, and you're like, oh my god, what was I thinking? Not including any porn.
Oh, okay, there goes my answer.
Vanessa,
I mean, it happened to me with TV shows. He-Man, for example.
I've never seen an episode of He-Man.
Werewolf got nards.
No, I don't. Vanessa Del Rio does hold up though, doesn't it?
Oh my
What?
God, Vanessa Del Rio. Ugh.
Oh, we're talking. Oh, okay. We're talking adult movie stars.
Jesus Christ, Vanessa Del Rio with her joint looking like a glizzy. Yeah, I was just like, what is this monstrosity? Why am I watching this? Alf. Like I went one time.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I went once. I was just like, oh, Alf is on TV Land. Let me watch Alf. I was just like, oh my God, this is the worst show I've ever seen in my life.
I think
it happens with a lot of 80s movies or shows.
Buckaroo Banzai. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. You ever seen that one?
The Eighth Dimension.
That one I've looked, and
We're in a different age bracket right there, and it just shows.
I guess that's 80s.
No, come on. I saw that movie, DJ. We're the same age.
The Adventures of Remo Williams?
Oh, Remo Williams. I saw that movie like a ton.
Nah.
Where they had the old Jewish guy playing the Japanese sensei?
Yeah.
Nah, like growing up, I remember I had mentioned this on the hot seat. So there's a lot of things like 80s movies that I've never seen. Like I saw Goonies as an adult finally, because all I did back then was watch action movies and violent shit. Okay. So because of my older brother. So anytime somebody was just like, yo, like even Indiana Jones back then. So when somebody was like, oh, let's watch Indiana Jones, it'd be like, nah, if it wasn't rated R, I didn't want to watch it.
Oh, so you never watched as a kid, for example, The Dark Crystal?
I saw Dark Crystal as an adult. So I went in. It's funny because I went through my phase, like when I had mentioned last week going to Blockbuster and then whatever. So that's how I got back into movies, and I picked up on all the stuff that I missed as a kid. So Dark Crystal, Neverending Story was different because it was just like my mom would play that for like my younger brother, and I was just like, oh shit, this is cool. So Neverending Story was different, but like Dark Crystal, I watched them as an adult. Goonies as an adult, all the Indiana Jones flicks. Like I watched E.T. as a kid, and that was another one that made me cry. But for the most of all the movies, it was all like rated R stuff. Because back then too, even as like a 12-year-old, like 12, 13, 14, I would go to the movies by myself. And I would see like I saw Natural Born Killers in the theater by myself, Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood. Like that's what I was going to go see by myself, which is nuts when you think about it now.
But you don't.
I mean, I was the same age when I saw those movies. I mean, I went to the video store and rented those movies because they didn't make the cut to be on the cinema here on the theater. Yeah. But we would get together with a couple of friends every weekend and rent a movie each, and we would do a marathon of whatever movie anyone had picked. That's how we saw a lot of shit that was inappropriate for her age, probably.
You don't think all those Spielberg movies held up, though?
Like what? Like which one?
Like Goonies held up, I thought.
Goonies is still good. We actually watched Goonies, I want to say like maybe 3 months ago. Like we watched it, and I was just like, because it's funny because I was telling my wife, I was just like, yo, let's watch Indiana Jones, and she's like, I never was into Indiana Jones. So then I was just like, no, it's like Goonies. So that's how if you ever want, I mean, not that you motherfuckers gonna ask her out to the movies or anything, but yeah, if you say, hey, let's go see Batman, she's like, oh, I'm not interested. Just say, oh, but it's like the Goonies, and then she's like, oh, for real? So that's whatever. So then I was like that, and then she like got the vibe, and she was like really, really interested.
And that's why he's not on the show. All right, we know what the fuck we're talking about. All right, Legion.
Thanks, Mark.
Wow. Yeah, no.
Hey, he's feeling a hole. Leave him be.
He just wants to tie it into Superman. That's all he wants to do.
I mean, same director.
That's how I get my wife with anything. I'll be like, yo, tie like the Goonies. So I was like, yo, let's have a threesome. She was like, no, you're disgusting. I was just like, yo, but it's like the Goonies.
Truffle shuffle.
There you go.
Truffle shuffle. I see how the.
No, I'm just kidding.
Indiana Jones too.
Boom! After I had the threesome.
What about Flash Gordon? Did you see Flash Gordon as a kid?
No. So I didn't see Flash. No, wrong. Let me. I saw Flash Gordon, pieces of it on regular TV with the commercials. So I've never seen it in its entirety. Right. So then one day I was here in the house, and my barber used to come to my house to cut my hair, right? Because I'm too fancy to go places. And I was just like, yo, I'm gonna put a movie. What you want to watch? And he was like, what you got? And literally the first thing on the top was Flash Gordon. And he was like, yo, put that. And we sat here, cutting my hair, and we watched. He finished, and then we just sat there watching Flash Gordon. And
every single time you said it, I heard it.
Flash, Flash, savior of the universe. Lost my love for Goonies, and one of the actors later accused MJ of child molestation. Dude was a straight dope fiend.
One of the Coreys, I think.
Corey
Feldman, Corey Haim, one of those.
One of the but
Corey Haim?
Corey Haim is the one that killed. He died, right, of a drug overdose or something. That's the one with the blonde hair. Feldman is still alive.
Yes.
And I think Feldman came forward.
I think it was both of them actually, wasn't it?
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Flash was good. He was at Biggie, because Biggie's like, he can't remember the actor's name. I was at a con a couple of months ago, and he was there in Long Island. It was him, the guy that played Captain America from the old school Captain America movie with the motorcycle.
Oh,
he was tall, wasn't he? Right?
Super tall, and he's still jacked for his age.
Yeah, I saw him. He was at that little con a few weeks ago. I was surprised at how tall he was.
Yeah.
Guys, my bladder is betraying me. I have to take a pee break. Be right back.
You can't just piss in the bottle or what?
All you had to say is, damn, my doorbell's ringing. That's what I did earlier. Cup.
Yeah. Flash was good.
Yeah, Flash was good. Like that. What else? What else was Joe? I caught on to a lot of stuff late. Like even now, there's stuff where I wouldn't normally watch if it wasn't for what's up, William? I wouldn't normally watch if it wasn't for engaging in like conversations like this. So it was I forgot what movie a couple of weeks back where it was just like I'm gonna watch it just so I can engage in the conversation. But other than that, I wouldn't. It's not my cup of tea.
I have no desire to go back to watch any of those old movies unless my kid is dragging me into it. Like Gremlins was super tough to watch. Back to the Future really wasn't bad.
We watched Back to the Future too. We did the whole Richard Donner / Spielberg vibe.
Yeah.
And we literally watched the Indiana Jones 1 and 2 and then Back to the Future because again, I was just like, yo, but it's like Goonies. So, and we watched that all in one weekend. Goonies, Back to the Future 1, and then Indy 1 and 2. Dr. Jones. You know what I did? I'm gonna throw out a hot take right now. So we all love our comic book movies. I'm a Marvel guy through and through.
He's getting us back for the typos when he can't type. That's what.
Yo, Donner, Spielberg, Zemeckis esque. Yo, so I was watching Zack Snyder's Justice League on HBO Max the other night. I think I started watching it on Sunday, and then I watched it again Monday halfway, and then I finished it on Tuesday halfway. That might be the greatest comic book movie of all time. And I am not a DC guy. I don't give a shit about any of the characters like that. They made me care for the characters. I love that movie. I think it is an absolute masterpiece. It's not my favorite comic book movie. My favorite comic book movie is Infinity War because I have an affinity for the characters. I love Thanos. Thanos is my guy. But that Zack Snyder's Justice League is just a different level of filmmaking and storytelling.
I haven't seen that one.
No. I was watching it and I was just like, I am blown away. Like, I've never even seen a panel in a comic book with Cyborg on the page. And I loved him as a character in the movie. Like, it was just like, same thing with Man of Steel. Like, when Man of Steel came out, I am not a big Superman guy. And I saw Man of Steel and I was perplexed at how good that shit was. Like, I was like, what the hell is going on? And then everybody's, oh, it's too violent. Superman doesn't kill, this, that. And I was like, first of all, if you read any of those tales of gods fighting, like they're talking about, oh, they're throwing punches, mountains are crumbling, seas are boiling over. Literally, Superman and Zod and Farah, and I forgot the tall dude's name, they're gods. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're fighting and they're leveling a city. It just so happens that now it's a populated area. And then the thing that I never got either was, oh, Superman doesn't kill. Why doesn't Superman kill? Oh, because he doesn't. That's not an argument. Oh, because
yeah, it's one of the things about Superman is that he's a better human than humanity as a whole. He, being an alien, has embraced humanity so much that he cannot imagine himself taking a life because he cares for all of humanity, even the bad guys.
I totally get that, and I understand that as like the character on the page, but in the movie that doesn't translate. So now he has a reason to say, I'll never kill again because I was taken to the brink and I was forced to kill the only other survivor from my planet at the time. That's how dark of a place this guy took me, that he and I could have built something great together, and I was forced to kill him. So now, because of that and because of that trauma, I am never going to kill again. And I would have been totally fine with that. But just saying, hey, he doesn't kill. So it's also one of those things, right? So as a person that doesn't read comic books, I've never read, except for Kingdom Come, the graphic novel that was recommended to me by Mark from Legion of Comics, I've never read a Superman comic book. So all that stuff is foreign to me. So by them laying that groundwork in the movie and telling an actual story and giving it depth, it made me like that version of Superman. Like, and that shit to me was amazing. And then that was carried on obviously to BVS, which I love, the Ultimate Edition as well. And then ultimately Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I think is probably the greatest comic book movie ever. Not my favorite, but it is just a different beast. Yeah.
Yeah. The only gripe I had about that movie was Steppenwolf.
What about him?
I didn't really like him as a villain. Like, I thought he was just thrown in there just to be the bad guy. I didn't feel
the big bad CGI monster.
Right.
I thought he was good. I thought he had motivation. His motivations were clear. He was there to redeem himself because he fell out of Darkseid's good graces. So, like, I mean, after watching this shit like 17 times now, like all the like the nuance and all those little things, like you pick up on it after a while, and it's like, I thought he was pretty dope. I thought he was pretty dope. The Steppenwolf design in the Joss Whedon version is horrible. It is super, super dull.
Yeah, I gotta watch it again. I've watched it twice. I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, and I'm watching it and I'm just like legit. I'm just perplexed. But what happens is like if I ever had a profession other than what I do, like I would want to be like kind of like a movie director or something like that, because I just love creating, and that's why I love video editing and shit like that. Zack Snyder to me is a visionary. Like, you have your movie directors and then you have your visionaries. He is a clear visionary. Like, you know what's a Zack Snyder movie. So then like Man of Steel, BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Watchmen is another one of them. 300. Like, those are movies that, you know, there's love them or hate them. I just happen to fall on the love side. Those are visionary, breathtaking movies. So when you take something like 302 or whatever it was called, Rise of an Empire,
yeah,
super trash, but it's basically like the same formula and the same concept, but just not the vision of that director that can see that through from beginning to end. So
do you think visually, or does he have the complete package storytelling also? Because visually, it's just he's amazing.
Let's bring it back to Dawn of the Dead or Army of the Dead. It's a Zack Snyder movie, and he wrote it, he produced it, he directed it, and the movie is trash. It's a very bad movie.
That spin-off movie wasn't bad though. The one with the blonde-haired guy.
Yeah, with the safecracker or whatever. Army of the Dead. I enjoyed it. Like, I'll never watch it again. Like, it wasn't for me. I wouldn't say it was trash. Like, it was like Sunday.
It was cheese.
Yeah, and I think like
Bad
that movie.
cheese.
Not to give him a pass for it. Like, you shouldn't give anybody a pass for like crappy work. But that was done out of like that was his therapy after his daughter's suicide. So that he wrote the movie after that, and that was like his project after his daughter's suicide. Dawn of the Dead, though, because Iggy, you mentioned it, and then Mark just mentioned it there. And then Remy says, "Let's talk about Zack Snyder's package." Dawn of the Dead was like his first gig, and Dawn of the Dead was phenomenal. And that shit is one of the best zombie movies. The Dawn of the Dead remake, the Zack Snyder one.
That was good.
That shit was good. I saw it twice in the theater, like back to back. Like I went on Saturday, and then I told my sister, I was like, "Yo, you don't like scary movies, right?" She was like, "I hate scary movies." I was like, "All right, we're not gonna see a scary movie. Let's go."
It's just like Goonies.
Yo,
yeah, just with that little girl, and then the whole car scene afterwards was pretty tense.
Yeah. You mother, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness. You fucker, get up. Come on, get down with the sickness.
But even with what was that chick movie? Sucker Punch. Like visually, I thought it was amazing. But the story,
yeah, that's probably the only one that I think it's that's definitely on the bottom of his stuff. It was pretty bad. However, if you watch it, just like, so that's what will happen, right? So somebody will be over and I'll be like, just watch this fight scene. Boom. Just watch this fight scene. Yeah. Like take everything out and you just watch the fight scene, not know he's good. Some of the best fight scenes ever, like as far as like those big stylized CGI fest.
Yeah, I think that's the point, maybe, because maybe he's trying to push that into the forefront. This is a visual movie. The story is an accessory.
No, but what happens is just like Sucker Punch, just like Batman versus Superman is the ultimate movie when you're going to talk about story and visuals, right? So the Ultimate Edition is amazing. I love that movie and I will stand by it. The theatrical cut is bad only because they removed all the story. They removed the subtext, Lex's whole plan on how he exposed who Superman and Bruce Wayne was. That was genius. But all I saw in the theatrical version was Jesse Eisenberg being Jesse Eisenberg, and the shit was stupid. It made no sense. Yeah. So they literally cut out all the story from Batman versus Superman. And once you add that back, it's a completely different movie for me. Same thing with Watchmen, the Watchmen Ultimate Edition, except for that sex scene. All that sex scene was lacking, was just like, clear penetration shots. But those movies, the more story, the better. And it worked with Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? 4 hours, boom. You got the complete story, the guy's complete vision. Same thing if you want to talk about gangster movies with The Irishman, Martin Scorsese. So it's 3 hours and change, but it's a complete movie, complete full story from start to finish, which I don't know if that movie would have been the same had it been trimmed down a little bit.
Yeah, I that's the main thing, is respect the vision of the creator. But the thing is, Snyder is under a contract with a studio, and when the studio start messing with your product, you're fucked, man, because you're not the owner, basically.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. To talk about Kyle's point, so Kyle is saying Into the Spider-Verse was the best comic book movies. Do you guys, when you talk about like the best comic book movies, do you take into consideration animated movies?
Yes.
I think just because of the medium, I mean, you have to.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't.
Why not?
I'm glad you asked.
He just likes to ruin everything. That's why.
No, I don't. I think it's just so your canvas that you're able to tell the story is not the same as you would do with the regular movie. So it's totally different. So you have greater freedom to tell the story in let's just call it a cartoon. It's a movie, but I'm just gonna say cartoon just because of the medium. So it's just a bigger canvas. So instead of painting on 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with a cartoon, your canvas is going to be like the side of a wall, and you could get away with so much stuff. Then at the same time, the audience is going to be more forgiving because a cartoon is a kid's thing, right? Which is, it's not, but the audience will be more forgiving.
I think people is more biased against cartoons, in my opinion. Is people see it or before they see it even, it's, oh no, that's a cartoon, and they dismiss it because it's animated, and they miss the point that animation is pretty much one of the key ingredients of that story. Because think about it. Into the Spider-Verse, as a live-action movie, it wouldn't have worked as good, you know?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But that's a benefit to the medium.
Yeah.
It being animated.
Yeah, but I think it needs to be considered. For example, for me, one of the greatest comic adaptations into movies is Akira. And it's animated, and it's based on a cartoon, on a manga, on a comic, and it's not even the whole comic, and it takes licenses from the comic, from the source material into the movie, but it's one of those movies that I watch every year because I love it.
Yeah, it's funny because I haven't watched that in a long time. I remember hating that shit when I watched it.
Yeah, and I think as for comic book readers, we kind of want to see the stuff that's on the page, and I don't think live action can do that.
Fully. Yeah, so that's why I'm always going to give a pass to a live action movie. What happens is I don't necessarily want to see exactly what's on the page. Like, I want to see it interpreted. I don't want to see a direct translation. For example, and I'll give you an example of what I mean by that, that a movie that was a direct translation and I was just like, Sin City.
Yeah.
I thought Sin City was fantastic. So I never read the book. I thought it was amazing. I get the book. It's literally the book come to life.
Yeah, yeah.
I immediately put the book down because now there's no reason for me to, if I had discovered the book, then there's no reason for me to see the movie because it's the same exact shit. In that case, I discovered the movie. There's no reason for me to read the book. It's the same exact shit. I don't like direct translation.
Frame by frame.
Literally.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Shout out to the yellow bastard that got his dick blown off.
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba. Oh man, what was her stupid name? Cordelia. I don't like Jessica Alba and her stupid Honest Company. Nobody cares about your soap.
No, come on.
We use Dove. Whack ass Honest soap.
All right, but I mean, you being the Thanos guy, and I think that you have to appreciate the whole fact of the way he was translated to the big screen, to the live action. Was he really live action though?
I mean, yeah, because no, but at the end of the day, the performer is still doing the performance. So Josh Brolin is there on set doing those performances. Then you're just adding layers to that, the CGI and the effects and all that stuff, as opposed to like an animated film where, you know, they book Ignacio in a studio for the next 2 weeks and give him his lines, and all he's doing is reading lines. So there's not even that kind of like actor interaction. In some cases, there isn't either in like these big blockbuster movies. I remember for Infinity War, what's her name? Carrie Coon, that played Proxima Midnight. That was one of her criticisms. So she was like, she did the entire movie and didn't meet anybody.
Yeah. Well, there's
come on, dog. You got to use Dove. You know why you use Dove? Because it's sent from the heavens above.
Right on.
So there's a gray area here. Now we are in the hinge of technology, of society, in a big hinge, basically, an elbow, if you will. Mm-hmm. And we are basically talking about movies that are basically inhabiting the uncanny valley, because we have people playing animated characters, basically, but doing the motion capture for those animated characters in a way that has never been done before. So it's a gray area, because it's not animation, but it's animated, and it's not live action because the dude is not actually on screen, but it's motion capture, and it's based on a live performance, which is crazy because now all those people are basically in the data banks of Disney, and Disney owns their likeness. So they could deep fake whoever they want in any movie. Now, I've heard they're doing a movie with James Dean as the main protagonist.
Yeah.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, because Dean died 70 years ago, and his state can only retain the rights to his image for 70 years. So now
Yeah.
James
thought you
Dean
said-
comes back.
Oh, James
Yeah.
Dean. I thought you said Jay-Z.
Yeah, no, James Dean.
No.
So it's yeah, it's a seven. I think with music is like 81 years or something like that. It's the same thing. You lose the rights. That's why you could use classical music all you want because rights is only for a certain time. But Lefty, I'm not like saying Sin City is whack. Like Sin City is a good movie. I'm just saying it's just too close to the source material. Movies and books are its own medium. Like I don't want my book to be the exact same thing in the movie because I already read the book. Like it'll suck for me where it's like I will sit down. So like Infinity Gauntlet. Like if I knew if the Infinity Gauntlet movie, if they would have did that and it was like the same shit, beat for beat, word for word, like dialogue for dialogue, like knowing what's gonna happen is like,
It's like Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
If Peter Jackson had adapted the books word by word, it would suck and it would be like a longer saga. But I think and it's kind of a hot take, but I think the movies are better than the books, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the first person to say that. But I think for example, the perfect example of an adaptation from book to screen, 50 Shades of Grey.
Never seen it.
Yo, them titties, yo. Nah, I'm just kidding. I've never seen it.
But you got to figure too, like all these stories they're being made again are like 80 years old. How old is Lord of the Rings? Almost 100, if not 100.
I don't know. Yeah, but it's the first fantasy. It invented a genre basically. So
Potatoes.
Infinity Gauntlet, written in the early 90s. Lord knows how much has changed in our culture since then. So
real quick, to go back to Iggy's point about the animation, well, Kaha brought it up first. The animation versus the mocap and all that other stuff. That right there, I think needs to be decided upon, especially that it's going to keep going further and further. And I'm not talking about deep fakes or anything like that. I'm talking about like Avatar, like Josh Brolin as Thanos, all those other stuff. Andy Serkis as Caesar, as Smeagol. Like they were pushing for that to be its own thing because at the end of the day, Andy Serkis did a phenomenal job as Gollum.
Yes.
Phenomenal. And there's not a place for him to be recognized. And then who's to say if he is recognized on stage for that performance that Will Smith is not going to get up and slap him? So
yeah, of course. It would be less controversial because Andy Serkis is white, but
it'd be more controversial.
First of all, I just want to shout out Kyle, Promiscuous Time Traveler. He has said that's a great point, DJ, like 8 times. This has been the greatest stream I've ever been a part on for people to agree with me. Nah.
He wants to go to In the Mix again and rap the Pokemon rap.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we've been discussing this for an hour already.
World of Tomorrow was a good one. World of Tomorrow doesn't get props, Lefty.
We can we can probably keep going, but let's talk about what we've got going on in the next week. We'll start with you, Mr. Ignacio. Anything that you can or can't talk about?
I finished my 9 pages. I got a page added at the last moment when I was finishing the comic. The editor asked me to add an extra page with a twist, surprise reveal in the epilogue of Cthulhu Invades Wonderland. So I finished that. I can talk about it. I would soon be able to show it, but there's not much I can talk about yet.
All right. Does Cthulhu have all his fingers? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, he doesn't have any fingers. He's all tentacles.
All right. And how about this guy? What does this guy got going on?
All tentacles? Can you see this? I got these damaged shirts.
The scuba dive shirt.
Yeah, I watched like a couple of them. You can see my bra straps underneath. What I got going on tomorrow night in the mix? Me and Remy Q are gonna chop it up. Just talk about stuff. Like
you and who?
Talk about stuff.
You and who?
My guy Remy Q Studios, baby. Remy Q, baby.
I thought there was somebody else. I thought there was somebody else on that show too.
Oh, you were invited. But you're gonna be at PlanetCon this weekend celebrating with some great people and Burke.
All right, so in the mix, him and Remy, always a good time. Always a good time. Yeah, I am on my way to Kansas City tonight to meet some people, to party with some people. Pocan Joe, Circumstances, Burke, Panda. Dan will not call in sick, so he won't be there. Brother Joe, Bobby De La Ghetto, and the Paul Dunn, my con boyfriend, will be there. So good time, good time. I will be filming, and we'll see what goes on.
You better. You have to be the eyes of the absent. Well, you will always be left wanting more in this show because we know how to treat our audiences. Oh, and of course, Nick, since we try to keep it emulating RB, we try to keep it casual and not too deep today. We didn't talk about what?
Space racism. Next
There
week.
you go.
Next week, with full white shattered glass comic reviews, we'll discuss the hot topic of space racism. Maybe.
Only if he comes. If he doesn't come, we're not going to talk about it.
I haven't even asked him yet, but we'll see.
We'll see. I'll be back for that one too.
Two in a row is all I can take. And on that note, we'll hit the outro.
Thanks everyone. Bye.
Fuck, you guys already saw it? Let me see it. Oh! Shit! Oh! Y'all see that?
So, Tyler, do you want to build a snowman to plow away all night? It doesn't have to be a snowman. It can be me.
I'll be clipping that too.